Hello, my name is Jaleese Martinez, and today I will be talking about the Freddie Mac scandal that occurred between 2000 and 2002. Let's first start by talking about who Freddie Mac is. Some may already know who they are, but Freddie Mac was created as the FHLMC, or the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, to create affordable housing options by the government. Created in 1970, the main purpose was to purchase mortgages on the second market, pool them, and sell them as a mortgage-backed security to investors. Freddie Mac's fraud can only be tracked back to 2000, and it lasted up until 2002. Freddie Mac's executives promoted expectations of steady, rapid growth in profits. Due to these expectations, an overstatement of $1 billion occurred in 2001. Then, over the course of those 3 years, Freddie Mac also made multiple understatements of $6 billion. According to the executives, these misstatements were made to make future results more attractive. Compensation of senior executives, particularly compensation tied to earnings per share, contributed to improper accounting and management practices. According to the OFHEO, the corporate culture fostered by the tone at the top resulted in intense and sometimes improper efforts by the enterprise to manage its reported earnings. In 2002, when Freddie Mac switched from Arthur Andersen to PwC, the fraud was uncovered. The top two executives involved in the scandal were CEO Leland Brensdell and COO and President David Glenn. Mr. Brensdell resigned from the company in June of 2002, while Mr. Glenn did step down for a period of time and ended up having to pay a fine due to retracting statements he had made in his diary that he ended up having to give to the SEC. In the end, Mr. Glenn was eventually asked to come back to Freddie Mac and retake his position. As for the accounting department, it is said that weakness in the staffing, skills, and resources led to weak or non-existent accounting policies. It also led to an over-reliance on the external auditor, who at the time was Arthur Andersen. It is said that due to the Enron scandal, Arthur Andersen lost a lot of clients, including Freddie Mac. Once PwC took over, the fraud was found and released to the public. While Congress tried its best to push the fraud under the rug, a few items were addressed. First, the OFHEO froze compensation for all higher executives. Compensation was the reason for the fraud, so that needed to be the first thing cut off. Next, the CEO, Leland Brensdell, and CFO, Martin Bowman, were fired, along with their general counsel. Freddie Mac was then fined $125 million in November of 2003, and then fined again in 2006 for another $3.8 million. Lastly, the OFHEO discussed creating a regulatory agency of 3 board members, one that would be responsible for ensuring the organization's safety and soundness, another would monitor compliance, while a chairman would oversee both issues. It is said that some favor one official from HUD, one from Treasury, and an independent chairman to support the board. Freddie Mac quickly tried to clean up its mess as soon as the fraud was released to the public. It made efforts to support both Republican and Democrats during the election year by donating $2.3 million to the Republican Party and $1.7 million to the Democratic Party. This eventually backfired, and they were fined for supporting the parties. They then made arrangements to separate the chairman and CEO position by 2006. This was done in an effort to show the public that there would be more stability in the decision making. They also retained services from Professor Charles Eason. He would be their public relations expert that would help them strengthen governance practices, policies, and procedures. And while Freddie Mac tried very hard to clean up their name, it has not won the hearts of taxpayers. And lastly, I'm going to show you a small. Attached below is a short link, or is a link to a short video on the views of taxpayers and how we are currently footing the bill for the Freddie Mac scandal. Feel free to watch the video, and I hope you enjoyed the PowerPoint.